This is okay. How many? Very cheap. Which means that I want to go to Meru. If I was to use Rift Valley, National Polytechnic as an example. Serikali iko pesa. It's just the way we are spending the money. Good pressure. So
hello. Acha nikuje.
The water points will be out there in simple quadruples. What is your area of specialty? Mali ni ya serikali, sio yangu na sio yako. What I gave you very firm instructions. I was killing you because you have red oxide on the floor. You had some tiles and terrazzo, and I said that was good. But this is the national one. And even a drop of red oxide, even the red oxide, and a lot of holes. I don't have anything. This institution, the Kisii National Polytechnic, is going to remain on my radar until such a time that we are satisfied that it's at a level that it is going to be. And I'm going to ask you to use all the agencies that are here, the multi-agency, to ensure that the leadership here is not sleeping on the job.
Yes.
Because if they are sleeping, I don't sleep, the president does not sleep. If there's somebody sleeping, you let us know. There are so many people who can do the work. It's not about where you come from, it's about what you are able to do that we can measure. This is not the way to run national polytechnics. The fact that I have seen about 6 or 7 of them, why in God's name should the Kisii one be the one that is looking even worse than ordinary polytechnics? It is an injustice to the children of Kisii, to the children of Kenya, to ourselves, and even to government. And it has to stop, and it shall stop. I'm advised that they have 100 million shillings in the bank. That money belongs to the government of the Republic of Kenya, and therefore to the taxpayer. And I want to charge you yourself, together with the GCC, who is actually representing the national government from the Ministry of Interior, that we must now work together within the next 2 to 4 weeks to ensure that this institution, the Kisii National Polytechnic, spends about between 5 and 10 million to ensure that it is brought to the level that it has to be. And my charge to you in DCC is that since there is kazi mtaani, and Kisii is at one of the most educated groups, you'll find artisans, you'll find plumbers, you'll find all manner of skilled people there. Let us do a labor contract where you also get yourself involved. You only worry if you are stealing government money. If you are not stealing, you have nothing to worry about. Tiles are cheap. Go and buy the best quality tiles at the cheapest price. Can we make sure that couple of blocks are put there, that toilets look like toilets, that water points are like the other national polytechnics. It can be done. And I'll come back here in 1 month. And if we don't find measurable change, Dr. John, then we shall consider changing the entire leadership. Because you see, there is no friendship here, it's just work. It is not fair. His Excellency the President, in his ensuring that the Constitution is implemented, will not allow other institutions to open and others are closed. We need equity and equality, isn't it? And that's why instead of sitting in the office in Nairobi, I've come to own what is on the ground. Rather than opening others and closing others, we are going to be very firm, close to harsh with those who are not doing what we are doing. But the good news is that over the last 6 weeks, now when I go to places, I see hand sanitizers, I see many water points. You forget about what I've seen here. You can see they started maybe yesterday with the water points that they have put outside there, because that's what they should have put everywhere else. They can fabricate them internally. They can fabricate. It is the willingness to do it. And our day is 24 hours. So we are going to ensure that when they open, they shall all open. The beauty of these technical training institutions is that they can verify which groups to come in, even if one is not completely ready. If they are reasonably ready, they can say this group comes in as the other one waits. But in your opinion, you have seen for yourself, this one is not ready at all. There is no, apart from the spacing in the dining hall and in the sleeping areas, everything else you want to sanitize, you can sanitize this floor. What about all the others you have seen? Okay? So the government's cup is half filled, not half empty. The government of the Republic of Kenya, under the excellent leadership of His Excellency Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, rolled out through my ministry online learning for our children. Facts which you have. You also know that that online learning is not reaching all the children because, for example, the children in the slums, the urban slums and far distant areas. And we said, okay, you people are making so much noise that this online learning is not useful, it's not reaching all the children. And we said, okay, fine. These are the children who are not getting online learning. Where they live, in the localities that they live, some of the 350,000 teachers are living with them. For example, me as Mahoha, I am a teacher. And if I'm called upon by a group of children to go and teach mathematics in standard 5, 6, 7, or chemistry up to Form 4, I can do it without going to the lab. Do you understand? But we say this should be done by the bona fide teachers who are earning salaries anyway. But there is also a narrative by some section of the population whose aim is the bottom line of how much they make. Businesses associated with opening schools, some small number of private schools, some cartels in my own ministry. The narrative is that we must open, and we must open yesterday. And like I said, even yesterday from where I was speaking, the government is not going to be intimidated.
This is a pandemic which is not caused by anybody, comes in naturally, and the government can only look for ways and means. But if they cannot control the pandemic, it's rather we keep the students at home for the time being until we are sure that the speed by which it spreads goes down. At least you'll save lives of many students. But if you say today they go back to school, you are actually calling for a lot of deaths which are unwarranted.
I am calling for the government. Hii mambo ya kusema ati walimu wakusanyike komiti kwa maboma ya watu. Mimi maoni yangu walimu pengine warudisha kwa shule. If they find it so necessary. We have schools, no? See, we have schools around there. We have here Koteko, Amagoro, Adurkwai. Let the students go back to their respective schools. Pitisha sheria kali ya kucontrol COVID-19. Lakini ya kusema watoto waende kwa mikutano kule bila uniform, sijui bila nini, kwangu sisikizani na hayo. Hiyo ni maoni yangu, na wenye wanahusika na hayo wasikie.